Do you ever think that we, that's to say our kind, were put on Earth for a larger purpose?
How was your night?
Fine.
So you a big shot businessman now.
I like a little variety.
The devil walks at night.
Is my very nature that of the devil? Two vampires walk into a church. That's where we left off.
Blissing out post-priesticide.
Episode 2, After the Phantoms of Your Former Self. It is Louis de Pontelac as fledgling vampire and Lestat as his master teacher.
Are you hungry, Louis?
Louis trying to figure out what this new world is, what the burdens are, and how to use these powers.
His mind is just another bodily sound.
Day and a half since my last meal.
Part of the tension here becomes about I am a different species than these people. So if you're a vampire and you're a black man and people don't know that you're a vampire, you are going to run up against a couple of things.
Abrupt and industrious, huh?
And you don't have to put up with that bullshit anymore.
It was both random and unfortunate the man picked that night to dabble in fuckery.
But you can't be dropping bodies left and right.
What were you think? Disrespecting me.
How did he do that?
He told me I did a good job.
You are a library of confusion.
We get to have a little fun with race and sexuality, and then the burdens of an interracial, interspecies relationship.
You need to show restraint, fledgling. You need to stop using that word right now, because it sounded a little like slave. Well, that's what it fucking sound like.
And also, the professor-student relationship is messy. But something about taking of human life is not sitting well with Louis. And the complications of trying to have a foot in both worlds
I need to go home.
sort of reminds him of what a monster he thinks he's become. The killing of the tenor is, I think, the final sort of straw that, like, this is never going to be comfortable for me. I'm never going to be a vampire like Lestat.
If you finally submit to your nature, you will see death in all its beauty.
While he is at his most articulate about what this is about, Louis fully admits it. I'm not buying it. But he was still so under the throes of Lestat, so he fakes it.
Afraid to disappoint.
The idea of being a botched vampire that slowly begins to kind of open up something inside Malloy.
I was never going to savor the aftertaste. I was a shame-ridden second, a fumbling, despondent killer.
Like any good journalist, he's sniffing around for what the armor is, but there are things in this story where you sit back and say, vampires, they're just like us.
This is the dessert I had after I proposed to my first wife.
He starts opening up a little bit, catches himself, and turns off the interview. And I think begins to, start that road down. How am I going to empathize against this predator that feasts on people like me?